thought you were announcing your pass, bud. All right, let me just put on my Do Not Disturb. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Dude, one time I was in Denver doing radio, and it's a really popular morning show at a rock station in Denver. And it's my first time on the show. I'm doing a bunch of impressions, and they go, man, let's get you to call some celebrities and do some prank calls with people. And I go, yeah, man, whatever. And I started suggesting, like, hey, man, if people hear Al Pacino on the phone, like, if you want to get the governor of Colorado on the phone, Al Pacino will get the governor on the phone right now.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, man, we want to do like some of let's have fun with like your Tracy Morgan or, whatever. And so we started calling like local celebrity people, and they go, oh man, let's call John Elway. Hey, yeah, we'll call John Elway. And when we come back from the commercial, we're going to have this comedian, Craig Gass, call John Elway. We're going to prank call him. And if you know John Elway, don't text him and let him know. Don't ruin it for us. We're going to go. So we go to commercial. Then the producer, he's like, hey, get John Elway's phone number. The guy goes, all right, yeah. He comes in and he goes, you got the number? And he goes, yeah. And the DJ's got the phone, and he goes, yeah, what is it? And he goes, 303.
Oh, man.
And he goes, 777. 7777. I go, get the fuck out.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't all sevens. It might have been the last four numbers.
Uh-huh.
But John Elway, whose number was 7,
oh man,
has all 7s in his phone number. I thought that was obnoxiously hilarious.
I think it's obnoxiously hilarious that they were also telling his number right there live on the air.
No, it was during the commercial break.
Thank God.
It was
like, what?
No, it was during the commercial break.
Okay.
But I laughed at all the 7s in the phone number. I was like, get out of it. Like Mitch Hedberg used to have a joke about that. About I want my phone number to be 2222222.
Yep.
So when people ask me, hey man, can I call you? I say, yeah, man, just dial 2 for a while.
Oh yeah.
And then when you hear my voice, you know you dialed it enough.
Yep.
Most obnoxious joke. But dude, I am, I don't know if you noticed this, I'm dressed as a professional comedian now.
I like that. You got that 1980s stand-up comedy vibe.
Well,
yeah.
I'm doing a residency. I'm officially a
Paula
Vegas.
Poundstone.
Oh,
You're looking very Paula Poundstone today, sir.
Hey,
where's that impression?
My Paula Poundstone sounds just like Tracy Morgan. Hey, everybody, this is Paula Poundstone. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's a look, man.
I feel underdressed today. Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm doing a residency now. I'm going to be doing shows. I still have like a little bit of congestion. Everybody's still a little bit sick, but I'm not contagious. I haven't been sick for like a few weeks, but
that's what every contagious person says.
Yeah.
That's how diseases spread, Craig.
But I got my residency, and I'm doing shows in, January, April, July, November, throughout the entire year, 2025. I'm doing shows at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. And last night, we had a surprise guest by the name of Chris Kael. Dude, by the way, Zach Throne and Larry, his girlfriend,
yep.
Larry, which is short for Larry Bell. Is that what it's short for? They said, man, Chris Kael killed it, man. He came out, he was prepared, he had material, like, holy shit, man. Like which is like, well, how low were your expectations? Exactly. They're like, dude, he told jokes.
Yeah.
He came out and told jokes. People laughed. Like,
I'm as surprised as they are, honestly.
It was the most backhanded compliment, but yeah, you got some rave reviews from our friends.
Thank you. Even when I went to The Dirty last night, The Dirty at 12:30 over at the South Point, a weekly comedy show, very cool family, Dirty Birds over there.
We should explain, by the way, The Dirty at 12:30 every Friday night at South Point Casino. They do a free comedy shows, which as a comedian, you're like, oh, that is awful, because late night is bad. Free is worse. Because when people don't pay, they're just kind of like, they'll watch a little comedy and they go, anyways, man, fuck, let's get some cocaine. And like,
especially people in a casino.
Yes.
They're like, we could be blowing money just right outside over there.
Yeah.
What are we doing in here?
Yeah. So it's not a good setup, but man, it's a dedicated crowd.
Yep.
It's a lot of the same people come every Friday. They come out and support the show, and it's actually a great show.
Absolutely. And I had a lot of compliments from other comedians that were at that show that had gotten word from other people at your show about me crushing, I guess is the word they used. I'm not using that word, but
people say
word on the street is that Chris Kael crushes the comedy stage.
And Craig is Paula Poundstone.
Dude, I want to tell you, I was thinking about it last night watching your set. I have known you for, several years now. I've watched you doing stand-up throughout those years, and just the complexity of your set now, bringing up very personal stuff in there. You know, we talk about me knowing you as Waka Waka all the time. Yeah.
Fozzie the Bear, 24/7.
And to see you be able to get up there and deliver laughs, doing the impressions, all your stories and whatnot, and then to get into real personal stuff and just change the vibe of the room and then flip it with some laughter at the end. The journey, the roller coaster was beautiful to watch, and kudos to you. All the road dates that you've been doing, it shows. It really does.
My favorite thing is to get people to laugh and then get them to, I want to try to get them to cry.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see if I can make them cry.
Very Patrice O'Neill of you.
Yeah. Does Patrice make people cry?
He's very much like, I don't want you to like me. I don't care if you like me. But by the end, you're going to be laughing. We're going to be having a good time.
Patrice scared the shit out of me, man.
I can imagine.
That dude used to hang out on a stoop in front of the Boston Comedy Club. And I would always like, if I had a set, I'd walk, and if I see Patrice waiting out front, I'd go, oh shit. Because Patrice would just sit there and go, look at this shirt. Wait, what the fuck is, he would just rip people.
Who's this Paula Poundstone blazer wearing motherfucker?
I can handle it from you. Patrice would spend 20 minutes dressing me down, and I'd be like, gosh. So I just wanted to avoid him. And so I'd watch him and I'd wait for him to lock eyes on somebody. And he'd like Rich Voss walk by and he goes, Rich, what is this stupid? And I would slip in behind him. Nope, gotta do my set. And I'd come in and I'd wait for him to focus. And once he started firing bullets at somebody, I'd slip in behind him. But I heard, you told me something interesting, that doing stand-up, that when you were at the Late Show, that Gabe from the Late Show gave you advice about watching the rhythm.
Yeah. He was talking about the cadence. I forget the guy's name that was the headliner last night, but I believe it was from Florida. Bigger guy, a little bit longer hair. You can look it up, whatever yesterday's date was.
Okay.
January 17th at the Dirty at 12:30.
Okay.
JC something, but I can't recall his name now. But yeah, his cadence and his commitment to the bit, knowing that he wrote it and it's going to work, and just plowing forward when there's silence, knowing what lies ahead and the laugh is getting ready to come. It was amazing watching that. And I'm ADD. I usually speak very, very fast, drink a lot of caffeine.
That's a normal thing for people in comedy in the first few years.
Absolutely.
You talk too fast.
Yeah. And I realize that I do that just in regular conversation. And I put it in my gratitude list talking about that. It comes from all the turn and burn from working in restaurants all those years. Super fast speech. What do you want? Let's go. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. Same with bartending. So being excited to get up on stage, having that mic in the hand, sometimes that excitement continues to go through me. And I don't even know if you know this. Last night, I thought that it was going to be the host, and then a guest, and then me. I'm sitting in the back.
And we're all laughing and telling stories.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were right there too.
Yeah. And someone goes, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Kael. And you're like,
I'm like, oh my God. I'm new. I can't do this. So I run from the couch to the curtain. A total I can't figure out where the exit is on there. Totally freaking out. Like, oh my God. Am I going to remember? And I got out there. I was already winded.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was stalking the stage back and forth a lot of energy. Pacing back
nervous energy because you had
because I was like, and then once I got out there, I realized I left my notes in the dressing room. But thank God I've been getting out and doing these reps with you. I did a show with Josh Wolf this past week.
Yeah.
And I was able to, the one at Josh Wolf this past week was the first time that I never had to rely on my notes at all. The memorization part of stuff in comedy is the hardest part for me. You write something, you want to be able to recite that as you wrote it. And the words are important, very important. I don't have music backing me up, taking you on the journey. It's just the words that I'm delivering on stage. And that's been one of the most fun, interesting growth building challenges out of doing this whole thing.
Yeah, there's when you're first starting out, that is like everything in your mind, at least for me, was very rigid. It's like, okay, I got this great opening, and then I got this thing I'm working on, and I got this finish, and it's got to go. This has to connect, and this has to connect to this.
Yeah, you're telling a story.
But it's so rigid in my mind that when you're first starting out, if someone goes, "You suck," you're like,
well,
you don't.
As you heard from the reviews, Craig, Chris Kael crushes.
But whatever
And I'm
it
a
is,
big motherfucker. I will fuck you up.
it could be somebody throwing up in the audience. It could be just somebody falling over. It could, whatever it is, you get a disruption and you're like, what? But and it's like, this has to go to this, and this has to go to this. And you just, you fucked it up. Like, I can't, and you get really nervous. And then over time, you learn how to let it go. And then if something happens, you learn how to just go, oh man, did you just throw up?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on over there? Hey,
there was one point last night that worked well for me. And like, I am very much, I'm new to comedy. So I'm focused on my material. I'm not interacting with people. I'm there to tell my story, do my bit, get some laughs, give you room to laugh, not step on those laughs, and continue on to the next one. But last night I was making a joke that worked out great. I was talking about the story about my mom. And then at the end, I mean, it's this beautiful story about how she kind of guided me when I was young. And then I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, Mom and I don't talk anymore. And a lady goes, call your mom. I was like, well, she's dead, so there's that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. But it was
so
perfect. Call your mom.
You set it up.
Yep. And
like
it felt so good.
Wow.
Yeah. I really felt some growth there. Like, oh, I allowed the audience to participate there.
Yeah.
Gave them that space to do that, and then was able to pull off. Yeah. That was the first time it's happened the entire time I've been doing this past year of comedy.
Yeah, there's moments of growth that you will just continue to have. And I mean, even like 20 plus years in, I just kept like, oh, you get more and more clarity, like, and you just keep growing and growing. One of the best pieces of advice when you're talking about slowing down, don't worry, you could like slow down and just, Paul Provenza, who was living in Seattle at the time, he was filming that TV show, Northern Exposure. He was on a TV show, Northern Exposure. David Lynch just passed away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was his, I think that was his show.
Say hi to Mom, David.
I could be getting that all.
That was funny. I got nothing on that. That was good.
What was that?
I go, say hi to Mom, David. That's right. Getting them.
And then I met Paul Provenza up there, and he gave me some advice that he got from Bill Cosby. This is back when Bill wasn't a rapist. And then
I mean, he still was. We just didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know it. We didn't know it. Who got it from
allegedly. Sorry.
Yeah. And then Bill Cosby got this advice from Phyllis Diller, who we still don't know is a rapist. And
we can hope, though.
Allegedly.
Yes.
And so the advice was, you don't have to always be funny as long as you're interesting.
Yep, engaging.
And the audience will always be there with you. And as soon as Paul Provenza said that, I was like, oh man, I just instantly thought of comedians I love, who I'll watch them do sets over and over again. And I'll notice that sometimes they'll be like, all right, maybe not. And I'll be like, what? I love that. What do you, it's like, oh, because I'm not laughing out loud.
Yeah.
You think that I'm not into this. I'm totally into this.
Yeah.
And so you realize, don't worry about the laughter. Like just focus on who you are and just move through your set.
And that's exactly what Gabe was saying about the comedian performing at the Dirty last night, is that I was watching. He's like, just pay attention to his cadence. Like, he's not worried right now because he knows what's coming, and he don't need the laugh right here because it's coming on the next one. Some great stories about this dude doing like mushrooms in the forest.
Really?
And just his use of the microphone. Like, he would say something and then he was like, and then I said, hey. It was amazing, just his storytelling and his presentation. I learned a lot from that dude. I wish I could remember his name.
Dude,
we'll put it right here, right now, after I look it up.
Every single open mic you go to, and I mean, you just need to marinate in comedy, and it just sticks to you. You just start learning by watching other people. No matter how bad an open mic might be, there's always one or two people that will thread a needle in a way that you're like,
okay.
Oh man, I never thought about saying that way. I never thought about looking at that subject that way. There's always like flashes of brilliance that you'll see, like little baby ideas, germs of ideas. You're like, fuck, that's a really good way to approach a thought or a subject. And you just grow as a comic by being around stand-up comedy. The most important lesson I learned that helped me get to where I'm at right now was when I moved from Seattle to New York. In Seattle, I developed this I wanted to be a rock star. I didn't have any talent. So, but as a comedian,
Craig, that doesn't matter. Take it from me. Just grow a beard. You're in. Thank you.
I would get on stage and just be like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" I wanted to be like all my favorite frontmen combined into one. and people in Seattle be like, yeah, like I did this high energy shit.
Yeah.
And then I moved to New York because like things were growing with the Howard Stern show. And I'm like, shit, I need to be in New York. I need to go back home. So I went back to New York, moved in with Mitch. And then I started going to...
That's Mitch Hedberg for those at home keeping score. We'll pick that name up and deliver it right to you.
Mitch Hedberg, everybody.
Yep.
A wonderful human being with a documentary that's coming out soon that I will be a part of for Netflix. And I started hitting all the clubs. And I would come up on stage in New York. Dude, in New York City, I would get up there. What's up, New York? Regularly. People would go, yo, shut the fuck up. And I'd be like... okay, sorry. I'm sorry. And then like the audience would just tell me, shut the fuck, dude. What the fuck you yelling for, man?
They would hate me.
Oh my God. So I kept, but like, dude, I'm not even a comedian anymore. I was tripping over my feet and I was like, how do I do this? And then one night I'm getting ready to leave. It's late at night. Bert Kreischer was the doorman at the club. And I would always check in with Bert because I'm new to this comedy scene in New York. And I go, Bert, I'm gonna go home unless is there somebody else on the list I should watch? And I remember he said, "Oh, dude, fucking, you gotta watch Tony Woods. Tony Woods is going up next." And I go, "Who's Tony Woods?" He goes, "Dude, you don't know who Tony Woods? Dude, Tony Woods is like, dude, everything Dave Chappelle did, he took from Tony Woods." And I'm like, "What?" And I walk back in, and if you look up Tony Woods, whoa! And the backstory to Tony Woods is that when Dave Chappelle was 15 years old, his mom would drop him off with Tony. When I think Dave might have even been 14 doing stand-up comedy. And Dave's mom would say, "Can you take care of my kid for me?" And Tony would be like, "Yeah, man, I'll take care of your kid." And Dave Chappelle would ride around with Tony, watch him do comedy. And then when you watch Dave Chappelle, you're like, what? You see the influence from one guy. Yeah. And it's Tony Woods. And Tony Woods and Dave Chappelle, I started watching. And they changed my whole attitude because I'm high energy. They would come in so quiet. Like that night, Bert says, you gotta watch Tony Woods. He's the best guy. I walk back in, I watch Tony Woods. Tony walks up on stage. He's almost whispering. And the crowd is like, shh. Everybody's like, trying to get in to listen to him. And I still remember to this day that first joke I heard. And I can point to that moment and say, that's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
Nice.
He said, Tony goes, yeah, man, I travel a lot, man. I can't. I like pets, but I can't keep a pet because I travel, you know? Like when I come home, my pets are usually dead, you know, because I travel a lot. So I had to get a pet that could take care of himself. So I got a monkey. Yeah, man, that monkey's cool as shit. And when I come home, I'll put that monkey in a little suit. I'll take him out to the park, which is great. Because when you got a monkey with a suit on, white people will talk to you. And I love fucking with white people. I'll have like a little old white lady will be like, oh my God, look at that monkey. Look at that cute little monkey. And I'll be like, bitch, that's my brother. And I was like, and I jumped off my seat. I fell on the ground and I was inhaling dirt off the ground. Like I was uncontrollable. It was, I couldn't believe how much he just creeped up behind the audience and just went whack. And I was like, oh my God. And then I started watching Chappelle and I was like, oh man, I can just be quiet and let people in. And it's the material, but my energy was just putting people off. So it just changed my whole approach. And I started dialing it back. And then now I can go up and down and like, you know.
Yeah,
and then,
it was a masterclass in that last night, watching your ebb and flow and the ups and downs and the different pathways you were taking. I really enjoyed it.
Don't you feel like it as a musician? Like I'm always trying to compare when I talk to musicians, like you go through that too, right? Where you think, oh, I got it. And then a year later, you're like, oh, no, I got it now. I've mastered the instrument now. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Here's another way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Don't you constantly evolve as a musician too?
Absolutely. Particularly in vocal performances. That's the thing. Yeah. Just with bass, I don't know that I don't feel like I've been playing bass for 35 years at this point, I think. So, you know, what I do is what I do. Well, no, even then, just different ways of presenting and songwriting. So yeah, never mind. I'll backtrack. Yes, I agree.
Didn't you say that there was some funny thing? Did somebody point out to you that you were saying something on stage where you're talking about your struggles on stage and they're like, struggles? You know, rock band. Like,
oh, so last night at your show back in the green room, Mr. Andrew Rivers and I, we were talking And I realized that I need to be aware of complaining about absolute success problems.
Oh, that's funny.
As a guest comedian who's been in comedy for a year with other people who are out there have done comedy for 15 years. I was not complaining, maybe a little bit. I was talking about, no, this is what it was. I was talking about my preferred floor plan for a rock show. Like, I personally do not like playing the seats. I like the movement. I'm an old school metal, Sepultura, open floor at Bogart's up in Cincinnati. Just people going crazy. That's what I love. And it took me a while to realize in Five Finger Death Punch that when I'm not seeing movement, I've got like these in-ear monitors in, and I can't hear the crowd singing. So I'm not getting like everybody singing along as they do with us. Yeah, everybody's singing along to every word, hanging on every word, singing every chorus. But all I'm seeing
all you're hearing is just the music and the
my performance. That's all I'm hearing. Which again, crushing. That's what I do, people. But yeah, like I don't prefer any sort of like seats on the floor. I want an open floor. And I was talking about, yeah, man, even playing this one particular place that's magical. Like as a performer, I didn't like it. And he goes, oh, it must suck playing in front of 18,000 people at Red Rocks.
That's hilarious.
I was like,
oh,
yes.
That is hilarious.
I was like, I'm being misunderstood here because I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying this is my preference.
You know, that reminds me of, I happened to be in the Comedy Store when they were talking about Dave Chappelle was going to come back and do a set that night. And I was like, I thought Dave was in Africa. It was right when Dave left for Africa and left behind everything. He ditched Comedy Central and he's like, no, and he ditched he left $50 million on the table. Yeah. You can't even reach me. He just went to Africa. And they said, no, he just got back from Africa. He just got back from Africa and he's going to perform. He wants to do a set tonight. And I was like, what? And I ended up going to the show. I bought tickets so I could bring friends. And that night, Chappelle came out, talked about how he just got, and by the way, I thought I had the cool table because I had all these musicians with me. I had guys from System of a Down and the Chili Peppers with me. And I was like, yeah, everyone's going to be like, look at Craig's table. I walked in. Dude, it was like Leonardo DiCaprio, Dan Aykroyd, Spike Lee. And then there's a booth right in front of me and it's empty. And then when they said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dave Chappelle. In walks Charlie Murphy with Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy.
Anybody that we would know though?
Sat right in front of me and I just went.
Rules.
And I watched Eddie Murphy the whole night, and Eddie Murphy was the best audience member I've ever seen at a comedy show. Dave would be setting up a joke. He'd just be doing the setup. And Eddie, before anybody else, he'd go, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, what? Like, he knows where the joke is going before anybody. Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. But I remember Dave Chappelle, he goes, yeah, man, I was hanging out with this dude from Africa. I was trying to explain to him my problem. I said, yeah, man, I had $50 million, man. Makes you crazy. And this dude from Africa said, yes, that is crazy. I ate a dog today.
Exactly. Yep.
It was one of the funniest quick perspectives. I was like, God, damn, dude.
It's like with every job that anyone ever has, regardless of how great it is, there's going to be something that you're going to bitch about because it's just in us.
Of course, man.
Yeah,
of course.
That dissatisfaction and like things should be better, that destination addiction. Yeah. Even in something as great as the gig that I have currently, I still like the bitch. And it showed in that green room the other day.
You pointed out something to me about a complaint that I saw the complaint. I didn't see the hypocrisy that happened, I guess, yesterday. You said, did you see what Tommy Lee did? And I go, yeah. Tommy Lee said, nobody should be promoting right now because there's fires going on. People's lives have been ruined. And you go, no. Did you see what he did now? And I said, no. So a few days ago, Tommy Lee and people's lives devastated in Los Angeles. And Tommy Lee made a good point. He was like, anybody who tries to promote a gig or an album, you're a piece of shit. Because right now people are suffering. And I was like, wow, look at Tommy Lee taking a stand. I was like, how can you disagree with that? And then what happened?
Apparently, after having said that, press release came out about them having live shows that they were announcing.
And a new album.
And a new album, I believe. Yep. And I was just like, oh, like and I was just thinking to myself, there but for the grace of God go I, because I'm always out of the loop. There's sometimes when I find out about tour dates online.
Yeah.
With everybody else. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess, yeah.
Last night when we were in the green room of the comedy club, I go, man, I just saw the advertisement for the festival you're doing with Rob Zombie. And you go, oh, am I performing? You go, you go, oh, that's cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, you don't even know about this? And you're like, yeah, where is it? And I go, I'm not sure. Do you know? And you go, I don't know.
It's like, I play bass, man. And it's clear.
You're going to be performing for 30,000 people and you have no idea that that's happening.
None whatsoever. Yeah. So I understand talking without or speaking your own perspective on things without realizing what's happening in the behemoth that is hilarious. The rock and roll bands that we are in.
When you first started touring with Five Finger Death Punch, were you like quick to get the itinerary and look at the cities and see what there is to do in those cities?
Absolutely, yeah. And fast forward 13 years later, I usually know the first day, the last day, and have no idea where the hell we are from city to city. There was one time actually, I forget where we were, but right before Got Your Six, I'm always like, all right, Cleveland, are you ready? And I was getting ready to go do that, and I'm standing back in the back line, and I'm like, I don't, like, what city am I in right now? I don't know. I mean, it all becomes bloody tired. You're worn out. Every backstage looks the same. Every back entrance looks the same. From the stage, it's all the same up there. So it's Groundhog Day. And I was getting ready to walk out, and I'm like, oh, I can't remember what city I'm in. So I yelled at the drum tech, a guy named Nate. I was like, Nate, what city are we in? We had been in this city for 2 days and had 2 days off in this city. And he was like, we've been here 2 days, asshole. So thank you for that, Nate. And yeah, I don't even think he told me what city it was.
Really?
Yeah. So I just walked out. Are you ready?
Yeah, that's it.
Listen, people.
People. That's the default.
People of this great city, are you ready?
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Yep. I was flustered, much like going on stage last night, being called. Whoa, I gotta go. Same basic thing. And yeah, I had no idea what city I was in. It was my turn to announce the city.
Last year, the very funny Russell Peters brought me out to open for him on my first arena tour. We did an arena tour of Australia and New Zealand. And I didn't want to be the guy to be like, hey, can I get the itinerary? You know, but I mean, we're leading up to like, I'm leaving in 3 days and I don't have an itinerary. And I'm like, yeah, so anything I need to know? Like, and they're like, nope, we'll just get you out there. And I was like, and it was literally the day before I left. They sent me an itinerary. I Googled the hotels. I wanted to look at I want to see what's in the neighborhoods. Yeah. I looked at my days off. I'm like, man, I wonder if there's any shows going on those days off. And like, I was super, super excited. And by the way, touring with bands. I mean, touring with Russell Peters was insane.
Oh, yeah.
But man, I did a tour with one band. It was Alice in Chains and tour manager. There's production people that help you guys out. Dude, you guys have a catered. Like, you don't even, you've been doing it for so long. I was amazed how I would wake up on the tour bus in a city that we're doing a day off. Mm-hmm. And I'd come out of my bunk and I don't know if you guys do the same thing, but on the table in the lounge of the tour bus would be packets with everybody's names on them. Mm-hmm. And I have a packet with my name on it. And then I open it up and here's your room key. Walk out the bus to your right, the entrance, and it would have instructions. I'm like, okay. And then I'd pull out one sheet that would have a list of Starbucks is 0.1 miles this way. The gym is 0.2 miles this way. Movie theater is, the mall is. And I was like, whoa, look at this. Like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Like, I'm always on my own. So doing that with people who are running everything, dude.
See how much it sucks, people?
Yeah.
See? But it's all done for me. I don't even have to do anything.
There are still people who manage to have problems. I don't know anything about this band as I lay dying. I don't know anything about them. But the singer.
You haven't been on Loudwire or any of those things.
But for me, only because I'm not familiar with the band, I'm like, I see the headline and I go, sounds like that guy is not having a good day. So
one thing after another, man.
Can we go back to a beginning of, I know the story a few weeks ago was his entire band was like, fuck you. And they all bailed on him.
Yeah.
With accusations of what exactly?
I don't even really remember. Just people were saying that from what I remember. And again, I'm going to be the person on this podcast that comes in with an idea about a story and then not read that story at all. It's me. Because as you heard from Craig, yes, that stuff is supposed to be done for me before I get in here. I mean, that's when you
well, let's just make shit up. The singer of As I Lay Dying is in a country band.
Yep. Guy named Tim Lambesis.
Okay.
I've never met Tim. He had some issues back in the day. That's putting it lightly, actually.
Yeah. Why? It was like
he had some issues. You can look that up online. I don't want to be a contributor to piling on.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Was he someone who publicly had drug problems?
Well, allegedly,
okay,
he tried to hire someone to kill his wife.
No shit.
Yeah,
that is some old school death metal shit.
Yes.
Wasn't there like that death metal band where they?
I mean, you got to give it to Tim Lambesis for keeping it real. You know.
Went to hire someone to kill his ex.
Yeah, and I don't know all the details. I'm very much a passive observer when it comes to that stuff. We've talked last week about how I try to keep, the negativity.
You really do.
The salaciousness,
Chris,
out of my man, because I will carry that with me, and I don't want that energy.
Chris will, like, whatever bad news is going on in the world, he just goes, man, if I pay attention to that, it's going to affect my day, and I just can't pay attention to it. No matter what side he's got on it, he just doesn't want to deal with it. He just wants to focus on his life and staying positive.
Even with these recent life changes, I just realized this week that my FOMO, my fear of missing out, and attachments to what I thought should be happening, because I'm focused on that stuff, I can't be present in the moment and appreciate all the wonderful that actually is. I'm worried about stuff that I wanted and things that didn't work out. And it takes away completely from being in the moment and enjoying doing podcasts with you, upcoming tour dates with Five Finger Death Punch, stand-up comedy, all that stuff. I got so much stuff going on, but I become hyper-focused on stuff that I have zero control over. And I see that all the time online. People getting upset about politics, just stuff outside of their control that really, in your life, if you didn't have the internet, you would have no idea any of that stuff was going on. It does not affect you directly.
I'll spend an hour looking at what's going on in the world. I'll see some stuff going on online, and I'll just type in, "You're a fucking idiot. Let's get some ice cream." And I can compartmentalize, like, I love rainbow sprinkles. Let's get some ice cream. And I can just leave that behind.
Yep.
But so we're different that way. But this guy from As I Lay Dying, his whole band bailed on him. And I saw people doing like joke tweets, like, for the record, I also have quit As I Lay Dying, because it seemed like everybody was bailing on this guy.
Hacks, all of you.
What is the latest with the guy from As I Lay Dying?
This is where I draw the line. There's been allegations of animal abuse now. I haven't watched the videos. I don't give a damn. I don't need to see that
stuff. There's videos?
Apparently, yes. I haven't.
Of him hurting animals?
Yep, I haven't seen it. But, if all is truthful in the clickbait headlines.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, so that, I was just like, man, you try to give people the benefit of a doubt. Everybody has their own struggles. But at some point, dude, you got to do some work.
No, but hurting animals is a level of behavior that there's something deeply, deeply wrong with you.
Yep.
Sociopathic.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone is sick.
Yeah. Someone's
absolutely sick. So, I don't want to pile on, but
I'll pile on.
I will encourage.
What's wrong with you, man?
I will encourage anyone going through stuff.
That's when pets die. It can be so much harder than when family members, anybody close to you dies, because there are no memories of your dog owing you money or being an asshole or saying something that you can't ever let go of.
Talking smack behind your back. Never. Just always excited. Hey, man, good to see you. Welcome back, man. Yeah.
Never any bad memories. Never disagreed with you.
Nope. Yes.
About politics.
Yeah. Never tweeted some bullshit about you.
It's all good memories.
Absolutely.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's a really fucked up thing.
Yeah. So I hope that's whatever happens, he's able to, like, I had an ex-girlfriend forever ago, and she was asking me, like, don't you ever think about, this was long before I got into the work that I talk about here weekly. I never really did a whole lot of introspection. I would always, like, the same thing with, I would be like, why am I worried about like this little problem that's over here when I got all this good stuff going on? And then if you don't address that problem, it grows and grows, cancerous, and it takes up everything.
Yeah, of course.
And that girl was like, don't you ever just think about, like, get introspective and all that? And back then I did not. I mean, which is crazy considering how much time I spend on doing introspection, reflection, evaluating my behavior.
What did she say though?
She was just like, don't you ever? And I'm like, and I said the same thing. I was like, no, why would I worry about the little, like, blemish when I got all this other stuff?
Yeah.
If I focus on that, then I'm going to forget about all this. And so thank you for
I agree,
planting that seed in my head. And now, man, I might even be a little overly introspective.
I agree 100% with what you just said, to the point that it's always been in my DNA to not be bothered by things and to not. A friend of mine, I don't know if I ever told you this, a friend of mine that I grew up with used to, as a joke, say, here's my impression of Craig getting really mad. He did this in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He said, this is Craig. Hey, everybody, watch this. This is Craig. This is my impression of Craig getting really mad. Okay, here we go. What? Ah, man. Okay. And the okay would make me laugh because I am just very quick to accept what that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and I don't worry about it anymore. There's nothing. So is that permanent? Okay. Okay. So nothing we can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's what, let's move forward. I don't dwell on it and I don't allow it to wash over into other parts of my life because I can't do anything about that. I've just always been like that to a very unhealthy level. Like, I don't pay bills on time. Like, yeah, I'll get to it. And they're like, my phone gets turned off. Oh shit. All right, let me pay this.
Yeah. Now
and
I
then,
gotta do it. And pay the late fee. So now you got that.
I'm always paying late fees for everything. I'm always like, I just don't worry about anything at all. I just focus on my friends, having great meals with friends.
You are big on the culinary stuff around town
with friends.
Yeah,
it's
always.
That experience of like, man, I love you. Let's all get together. Let's talk and let's have a great meal and some conversation. Like, I want to spend quality time with my friends, just laughing all the time.
Yep.
I want to go.
I need a terracotta warrior. Let's go.
I want to see fun shows.
Yep.
And I'm always wanting to go, like, and I love you and I are both similar. Where when we see somebody who's like a famous entertainer in Vegas, it's like, oh, dude, I want to hit him up for free tickets. And you go, yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember when I first joined Death Punch, my now ex-wife, Natalie, best friend these days.
Natalie is the greatest human being in Las Vegas.
My buddy Brad last night came out to the show, and Natalie was there, and Brad hadn't seen her in a while. And we were talking about something I did. And he just looked at her and goes, you are an absolute saint.
Well, Natalie, his ex, has this incredible moment where for the first couple years that I was hanging out with Chris, maybe it was like a year or two, that I would just sit there and just be like, man, I would just, would never hang out with people and I go, I go, Chris, can I do my impression of Chris? And my impression of Chris was always like, you need to talk and I'll do my impression of Chris.
So yeah, just the other day I went to the store. And, man, you'll never believe this.
Okay. All right.
They were out of eggs.
100%.
At the prices that eggs are at right now. Still out of eggs. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I was like, man, I love
100%. I like that one.
This guy.
When you said that, I was like, I do that.
This guy looks me right in the eye. He's the most active listener. And I'm like, Chris really listens to me. I like the way he listens to me. And then I would tell everybody, I'm like, Chris is the best listener I've ever had in my life. Really? Oh, yeah. And he's a rock star. This guy listens really well. And then I ran into Natalie, your ex, and Natalie and I are hanging out. And I go, you know what I love about Chris? Best listener I ever met. And she went, what?
Yep.
Like it was anger. And dude, it was so certain and defiant that I didn't even go, oh, come on, man. The way I just went,
am I looking at things wrong?
You know what? You have a good point.
Yeah.
The way you yelled out what and a little bit of spit hit my face, I think Maybe he just says yes a lot and isn't listening to a single word I'm saying.
Just waiting for my next thing to say, just like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember looking at her and like, you don't even know me now. I'm sober now. You're talking about old messed up me. Yes, my memory was terrible then, but there was a couple of times I got her on memory stuff. And I still, even now, I'll beat myself up. Like, am I remembering this right? Like, I know my memory was terrible back in the day. But then I'm like, no, wait, like, my memory is good now.
By the way, I was curious when you brought up that there was an ex who you were talking to. Have you had any exes who just like, fuck this, get this girl out of my life, who after you got in a successful band were like, hey, remember me? Did you ever have any of that?
I don't think I have.
You don't have any of those?
No.
Dude, I got tons of them.
Yeah, I'm a relationship guy.
Yeah.
Craig.
All right.
Yeah. Although being single now, I have entered my Oprah phase of dating.
What type of Oprah phase are we talking about? Like,
everybody reach under your seat because you can get it and you can get it. We can all get it.
Oh my God.
Actually, I'm kidding. I'm not in my hoe phase at all. I am very much in my no stage. No, thank you.
Well, I think
no you. Okay, no you. Adios.
There's a thing where, like, I remember I was talking about this last night. I was in a relationship for many, many years. It ended, and I was really fucked up over the ending of the relationship. And the day that it ended, I was just in a lot of pain. And I called a girl who worked at a comedy club that she was always be really flirtatious, really pretty, beautiful girl. And I had her, she barely spoke English. She was from Russia. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, you want to come up? And she goes, yeah. She got on a train and came up to see me. And then we had sex. And as soon as the sex was over, I was like, oh my God, I just did that. And she lit up a cigarette. And I was like, bitch, what are you fucking doing? Like, lit up a cigarette in my bed. Like, and we did that in the bed that I was sleeping in with my ex for years. Oh, yeah. And I just,
the guilt, dude, I can imagine.
The clarity after it's already over.
What type of clarity is that, Craig?
Post
nut
clarity.
That's right, people. That's right.
And that clarity,
I'm gonna name my solo record that post nut clarity because I wrote all that stuff at the end of a breakup.
It's gonna be the picture of a one night stand just close up like this. Post nut clarity. Oh, what am I doing?
Me in the background.
Yeah, and oh man, I felt so awful, and I just said, hey, and she doesn't speak English that well. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, you want to leave? And she goes, da? And I go, you have to go. You have to. And I just, everything about it was terrible. It was like, why am I doing this? Like, you just think, I'm going to fill this void. I'm going to feel better if I just have sex with somebody, and you don't. It actually makes you feel worse.
Yeah. As addicts, always like the huge process that you find yourself in is trying to stop yourself from reaching out for any sort of like bullshit outside affirmation. Filling that God-side hole inside of you with redeemable, esteemable acts instead of be like, oh, tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm strong.
You've been saying a lot of really healthy shit about things that you're doing to just work on yourself right now. Again, I'm shocked that you don't like being alone. Like it's driving you crazy just being alone. And that I can't understand. I'm like, dude, you're going to have a lot of time where you're going to be super busy. Why not enjoy this moment? But it's about being alone, like not with somebody in your, what?
I'm going to stop you though. I'm not alone. I'm lonely.
Okay.
But not alone. Yeah. I've got you. I've got an amazing support system, but I have, my day is pretty good from the moment I wake up, for the most part, the moment I wake up until about when the sun goes down and the day starts to slow down. And that's when I really start to get in my thoughts. And really kind of, that's my danger zone is once I've done all this stuff, I just got to keep on moving. I got to stay distracted. And luckily I'm doing, my distractions are healthy today. Like, literally I wake up, I do my gratitude list in the morning. I share it with friends like yourself. I do, meditation. I do a prayer. My prayer is basically lead me where you need me. Got that one from our friend Dave Ellefson. He suggested that prayer. And it's just like, hey, wherever I need to go, show me, let's go. And then, hitting the gym. And my last girlfriend really got me into walking quite a bit. And that has been a very healthy coping mechanism. I have found that instead of watching podcasts on the couch at home, I'll throw on my headphones and just walk around the neighborhood. So I'm still engaging in consuming podcasts, the stuff that I love. I love, comedy podcasts and, conspiracy and all that stuff. But rather than sitting at home rotting, which I would complain to my therapist all the time, like I'm just rotting on the couch, waiting on the next thing to do. Because again, I have been trained now. My days, as you said earlier, with the day sheets and whatnot, they're planned out.
Right.
From the moment I wake up, I got press, got this, I got to do this interview, meet and greet, boom. And then you get home and you're like, wait a minute. I don't have a tour manager right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And going from having bartended for so many years, having a regular schedule, and then all of a sudden having a regular schedule when I'm on the road with the band, out on the road. When you come home, you got to self-motivate. And man, that is hard for me. Especially in the beginning. I'm much better today than I have been, so say the last, few weeks or so. Just the other day, I even last night, getting home from the Dirty, I was just like, oh man, this ain't that bad. Like I don't have to answer to nobody right now. I don't have to continue to entertain. That's one of the things that always bothered
plus
me.
you had a full night last night. Like
Absolutely.
You did sets. You did 2 sets with me.
Yep.
1 set over there. So you had a full night, and then it's like you come home, you're tired, like I'm just gonna go to bed, and there's nothing to distract me here at home.
It's much like getting off stage.
Yeah.
You got that, and then you get backstage, and everybody's on their cell phone. All that craziness that was happening outside.
Yep.
And then whoosh, you're like,
I will say
where
this.
do we go now?
All the healthy stuff that you're doing to work on yourself and work on what you know are your shortcomings, I think will help you in the long run, because being in a big rock band, the shelf life is usually not that long. You guys have been crushing it for a long time. But my God, when you see guys that we grew up watching whose fame has disappeared and they don't, sometimes they don't know how to be like, I'm supposed to be a rock star. I'm supposed to be, especially the ones that are trapped in partying and that lifestyle. Sam Kinison used to make jokes about that, where he'd say, I know that when you guys party and you guys do coke and you're like, yeah, you do a little coke. You're like, yeah, this is my line. Yeah, let's. But when I show up, it's like, what's that? Sam Kinison's here. Jesus, here's your line. Oh, and then there's rocks in that line that you could put in your fucking driveway, folks.
Yep.
And that expectation that you have to be that guy.
It's Friday night for everybody else that comes to see you.
Yes.
But it's Tuesday.
Right.
You're like, come on.
It's the 94th day in a row of being on the road, of everybody being excited to see you. And yeah, that's a crazy thing, man.
Yeah.
So,
again, success problems though. Oh no. People are excited to see me and want to hang out and have a good time. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. I can't. I got an open schedule all day long and so much time. What do I do with myself?
You're working on yourself, though, and that's a good thing, because we know people who don't work on themselves, and they're just, although I will say, I love watching guys go out into outer space where it's like, the fuck is going on with that guy?
Yeah.
There's
Speaking of working on myself, yesterday, I've been kind of off the last few weeks, and even had like some confidence issues in the gym. I didn't feel as strong. I mean, I was probably not sleeping well, overthinking everything. Again, a FOMO, worrying about stuff that I had no control over. And I was just struggling at the gym. Yesterday, though, I'm proud to say I am back. My friend Walker was in the gym. Walker is a fighter. I can't remember if he was in the UFC or not, but Ryan Walker's his name. Walker Mania, something or other on Instagram. A wonderful source of inspiration, because he's a little dude, but ripped and incredibly strong.
Okay.
This dude, I think he does 600-pound deadlifts, and he might weigh $180, probably. It's ridiculous. He's got that farm strength kind of thing. And he was in there yesterday. My PR would have been 6 at 405 pounds on a deadlift. But because Walker was there, I made sure, I was like, all right, Walker, you're here. We're going for 10 today. And I got the 10. It wasn't even really that difficult. I posted a video on my Instagram page. I'm very happy because I have been struggling, not feeling as strong the last few weeks, and proved to myself,
I have some news
good.
for you.
Yes.
We have that video. And we're going to play it right now.
How'd you get that? See how I set that up? I sent him the video to make myself feel better earlier.
There's something about this video that disturbed me.
Okay.
Just play a few seconds of this. Go ahead. Oh, here we go. All right.
I think I know what you're talking about already.
What's with these shorts, man? These shorts are disturbing me.
My favorite part is that beard hanging at the bottom.
Yeah, the beard.
Looks like a tiny pecker.
Yeah,
It's dangling.
All right.
The dangle game is strong,
all right,
baby.
Pause it right here. Yeah, okay. These shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember being a kid and playing video games with your friends late at night? You'd be making up too much noise, and your grandfather would walk in. Hey, turn it down! And he'd be wearing this loose Fruit Balloons, and one of his nuts would be hanging out the side. Like,
yep.
That's what I'm afraid of, is that you're going to pop out and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Chris Kael is Jewish.
Yep.
Like, what the? I didn't know he was, like.
But you also have to remember the grandfather in that story was 50. I too am 50. So your perspective, this is grandpa strength right here. Yeah. Luckily, no kids that I know of. And, but yeah, out there at 50 doing it. This is a wonderful day for me. I'm really.
Can we get a GoFundMe to buy Chris some long shorts so that we don't have to be petrified of something?
See, my thing is, I was a fat kid growing up. At one point, I got up to 249 pounds.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And that was no lifting.
How old were you when you were 200?
Early 20s, probably. I was delivering pizza for Pizza Hut. And
you were eating the Pizza Hut.
And living with people who worked at KFC and Taco Bell. So everybody would bring food home at the end of the night, and none of the food was anything healthy.
Right. Plus, you're eating before you go to bed. You're eating that shit before you go to bed.
Pizza, fried chicken. Yeah. So, yeah.
See, I'm feeling bad because I ate pizza last night before I went to bed.
Oh, man, I am
Jimmy Kimmel's gave me some pizza.
Yes, they did.
I'm taking this in my room.
And much like helping you move, I delivered it from your green room down to your merch booth. I was going to say merch tent. Your merch booth. I forgot where I was going.
Well, you were saying that.
Oh, fat kid.
Fat kid.
I am so glad that I moved out to where it's hot, where it's sunny.
Yep.
You can't eat that stuff and feel any sort of good way with the temperatures here in Las Vegas. So moving here has been wonderful because I've put myself into the gym culture here in Las Vegas, particularly at Extreme Couture. I got to give a shout out to those guys because, it's a family in there. Everybody with the same goal. My goal is to get stronger. Clearly, I lift with other people also looking to get stronger. But I think it was Gil, my trainer at one point, was talking about his philosophy. He goes, we're not training for visuals. We're training to beat people's ass.
Fuck, Gil.
And I was like, this is the place for me. I love it. Yeah. So yeah.
I almost felt like I was in the gym with you and that Gil was pointing right at me. We're training to kick that guy. It's like, well, it's not that hard, Gil. Okay.
You, Craig, have been greenlit. Get him. But I love the mentality there, and like training with my trainer, Gil. He's also a practitioner of stoicism, reads up on all that. He's a coach through and through and through.
You still got the fat kid in your head though that tells you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the fat kid in your head saying to you?
Like, I tell you, talking about Natalie, let's talk about one of the insults from her. Yes, I had allowed myself to get comfortable. I had put some weight on back in the day when we were together. This has been years ago.
No, this is going to be good.
We were headed towards divorce at this point.
It's going to be even better.
Yeah, it was already going.
And she already doesn't like you.
Yep, I was, not.
What did she say?
Was not taking care of myself at all. And she said something along the lines of, you and your SpongeBob body. Yeah.
No.
You're lucky you didn't get a solo record written about you.
But women
that's
can
still
cut you.
Yeah. And she's wonderful in the sense that she never really, I think I was telling you, even when I was at my worst, she never really weaponized any of that stuff. She could have gone out and said all the stuff that I was doing back in my drugging and drinking days and really just put me out there. And she is a real one. Wow. Kept it in-house, worked on her stuff, gave me the opportunity to work on my stuff without inviting all the eyes. And here I am now able to talk about that stuff.
I love it.
Because of the integrity and just her being the woman that she is, and which is why we are best friends today.
Well, former fat kid Chris Kael, where can people find you?
Anywhere. Look at the swole right there. Just turn around. I'm there.
Chris Kael is going to be doing some stand-up around the country. He's got some 5 Finger Death Punch shows coming up this year.
Yep. And thank you to my comedy manager, Mr. Craig Gass here.
I'm doing
putting those shows out there for me to do.
All the info's at getgas.com. And I know he's just
That's
hearing
great.
Get Gas for the first time.
That's gas with 2 S's. People.
Getgas with 2 S's.com. Me, fat kid, and former fat kid, Beardo and Weirdo here. We'll see you next time.
Even bigger, even stronger.
Even fatter over here. What?